Hello friends, I am sharing a lecture of anal canal with you. Anal canal is the terminal part of large intestine. It is 3.8 centimeter long, lies below the pelvic diaphragm between two ischiorectal fossa. It is directed downwards and backwards and ends as a anus which lies 4 centimeter below and in front of tip of coccyx. See, this is the anal canal. As like a rectum, it also doesn't have tinea coli, appendices, epiploiky and sacculation. It is also surrounded by sphincter muscle, external and internal sphincter muscle. It lies in the posterior part or the anal region of the perineum. This is the anal region of the perineum. It lies in that. Anorectal junction, we seen it in the rectum lecture. It lies 2.5 centimeter below and in front of the tip of coccyx. From there it extends up to the anus opening. Now we will see the relations of anal canal. It has anterior relation and posterior relation, and it is all around surrounded by sphincter muscle which keep the tone of the muscle or the anal canal close. We will see the anterior relation of the anal canal. This is anal canal. In male, anteriorly perineal body, bulb of penis, spongy urethra, and in female, this is the perineal body, this is the bulb of penis and the spongy urethra. In female, there is a vagina. Posteriorly, you can see the tip of coccyx, anococcygeal raphe. Also, below it, there is a fibrofatty tissue between raphe and the skin. Laterally, on each side, there is a ischiorectal fossa. Now, see here, again relation anteriorly to the anal canal is the perineal body, it is seen over here, and posteriorly tip of coccyx, anococcygeal raphe is seen, and it is surrounded by sphincter muscle, internal and the external sphincter muscle, and this is the fibrofatty tissue below the anococcygeal raphe between perianal skin and the raphe. This is the fibrofatty tissue. Now we will see the interior of anal canal. Interior, it is divided into 3 parts and having different features. 3 parts are upper mucous part, which is 15 millimeter long and lined by mucous membrane. It is endodermal in origin. Middle part, transitional zone or the pecten zone, lower cutaneous part. First we will see the upper part. Upper part is the mucosal part. It is 15 millimeter long. It has features of anal column. These are the anal columns. These are permanent longitudinal mucous fold, 6 to 10 in number, and contains radicals of superior rectal vein. Anal wall. This is anal wall. Anal wall is the concentric fold of mucous membrane which connect lower end of adjacent anal column. Free margin of these walls are directed upward, and it is indicated by pectinate line. Wall, anal wall, joining of all anal wall forms the pectinate line. Anal sinus is the vertical recess present between anal column and the anal wall. Here opens the anal tubular glands. Now The middle part is the pecten part. It extends from pectinate line to the white line. It is 15 millimeter long and it is lined by non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Mucous lining of this region appears bluish in color due to dense venous plexus and adherent to the underlying structure. Lower part. This lower part is 8 millimeter long, extend from white line, this is the white line of Hilton, to the anus opening. The skin containing the sweat gland and the sebaceous gland, and it shows pigmentation. In adult male, coarse hairs are often found around the anal orifice. Now in this figure, see, these are the anal columns, anal wall, pectinate line, and the lower part is seen. Here we can see the tubular anal glands open into the anal sinuses. Here also note down the venous plexus which is lying in the submucosa and the external venous plexus line beneath the perianal skin. Now we will see the musculature of the anal canal. They are called anal sphincter. It is having internal anal sphincter which is involuntary in nature and the external anal sphincter which is under voluntary control. This figure image shows this is internal anal sphincter and this is the external anal sphincter. Internal anal sphincter, it is thickened circular muscle coat of the anal canal surrounding the upper 2/3 of the anal canal. Above it is continuous with the circular muscle coat of the rectum and below it reaches up to the level of white line of the Hilton. It is surrounded by deep and the superficial part of the external anal sphincter. External anal sphincter, name itself suggests it lies outside the internal anal sphincter. Its wall length has 3 parts, that is the subcutaneous part, superficial part and the deep part. This superficial part lies below the internal anal sphincter in the perianal space and surrounds the lower part of the anal canal. It forms the flat band and 15 millimeter broad. It has no bony attachment and it is traversed by fibrous septa of the longitudinal muscle coat. These are the fibrous septa. Now we will see the other parts of the sphincter ani. This is the superficial part and this is the deep part. Deep part merges with the puborectalis part of the levator ani. See, puborectalis part of the levator ani merges with the deep part of the external sphincter ani. It has no bony attachment and as it is blending with the puborectalis which is having attachment anteriorly to the back of the pubis and it encircles the anorectal junction. So this puborectalis deep part of the sphincter ani muscle and anococcygeal ligament. These trio with internal sphincter maintain the continence of the rectum. Now this is the superficial part of the sphincter ani muscle. It is elliptical in shape and it arises from the tip of coccyx and the anococcygeal raphe and it surrounds the anal canal and inserted into the perineal body in the front. Now we seen the external and internal sphincter ani muscle. Now the nerve supply we will see along with the anal canal. See, this is the muscles which are shown, the external sphincter ani muscle which surrounds the anal canal. Internal sphincter muscle is made up of smooth muscle, that's why supplied by the autonomic nerves, that is the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, and it is involuntary. External anal sphincter, it is made up of striated muscle and supplied by somatic nerve, inferior rectal nerve and the perineal branch of fourth sacral nerve. So it is under voluntary control. Now we will see the arterial supply and the venous drainage. Arterial supply to the anal canal is by superior and inferior rectal artery. Venous drainage is through internal rectal venous plexus and the internal rectal venous plexus. See here, arterial supply, upper part of the anal canal, above the pectinate line, it is by superior rectal artery, and below it is by inferior rectal artery. Superior rectal artery is the branch of continuation of inferior mesenteric artery, and inferior rectal artery is the branch of internal pudendal artery. Venous drainage, it is in the form of the internal venous plexus, drains into the superior rectal vein and they drain into the inferior mesenteric vein. Similarly, inferior rectal venous plexus through the inferior rectal vein which drains into the internal pudendal vein. These are forming venous plexus around the anal canal. One is between the submucosa and another is in the muscular layer, outside the muscular layer. See, internal venous plexus outside the mucosa, it is present in the submucosa. It forms the venous plexus which are again further drain into the superior rectal vein, and external venous plexus, they are present here between perianal skin and the subcutaneous part of the external sphincter ani muscle. These are again blood supply, superior rectal artery from the inferior mesenteric artery and inferior rectal artery from the internal pudendal artery. Similar venous drainage into the superior rectal venous plexus and the internal rectal venous plexus, which are forming the important communication between portosystemic system. With this blood supply, we will finish the part 1. We will take second part next slide.